coming at you right now. Live from the studios of Best Business Owners and Entrepreneurs Success Tactics. It's the Best Business Radio Show, serving small business owners, entrepreneurs, independent sales representatives, those in private practice, and work from home professionals just like you, with the marketing, business, and mindset information, systems, tools, strategies, and education you need to create the business, the life and lifestyle you want and your families deserve. And now, here's your host, Best CEO and founder, Doug Huggins.
Well, thank you, Jeff Strop, and welcome everyone to the inaugural broadcast of Best Business Radio. As Jeff just told you, I am Doug Huggins, the CEO and founder of Best Business Owners and Entrepreneurs Success Tactics. Today, I have to tell you, I am really charged. Not only because this is our first Best Business Radio broadcast, but because of my very special guest. You know, over the years, I've had a chance to interview a lot of top people. In fact, Best recently completed an exclusive interview with Mr. Donald Trump. But I got to tell you, I'm even more charged and excited about today's interview because I get to do this interview myself. My special guest today first received international acclaim as the 6-time undefeated world professional middleweight karate champion. He's the first man from the Western Hemisphere in the more than 4,500 years of Taekwondo to be awarded an 8th degree black belt master ranking. But you probably know him better as an international television and film star and one of the most popular actors in the world. For 8 full seasons, my guest starred in the CBS television series Walker, Texas Ranger. And that show was the most successful Saturday night series on CBS since Gunsmoke. The program is currently seen by an estimated 1 billion, and yes, that's with a B, 1 billion viewers worldwide. And it airs daily in the U.S. and in more than 80 other countries. You and millions of other people around the world know this man as the star of such films as Delta Force, the Missing in Action series, Lone Wolf McQuade, and Sidekicks. But you may not know that he actually wrote the original screenplay for a number of these box office hits himself. In addition, he is also a 2-time New York Times best-selling author, including his 2004 autobiography, Against All Odds, and his latest book, Black Belt Patriotism. Of course, there's no doubt about who I'm talking about, and that I'm incredibly happy to welcome to the Best Business Radio microphone today, Mr. Chuck Norris.
Good morning, Doug. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Norris. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I appreciate you taking the time. I'm sorry you had so much trouble getting on.
Yeah, the PR people gave us the wrong number.
Oh, wow. Well, I talked to one of your young ladies this morning and gave her, she asked me for the number and I gave it to her again, but oh well.
Oh, well, we made it work.
Great. Again, I appreciate you being on the call today.
Oh, you betcha. My pleasure.
Obviously, you've used martial arts throughout your career and as a vehicle for you. I've read several places that you credit the self-discipline you learned as a martial artist as an essential ingredient in building your career.
Yeah.
What originally inspired you or caused you to move into martial arts?
Well, the thing is, I graduated from high school and went right into the military, joined the Air Force right out of high school because I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I didn't want to go to college, and I was kind of just, I was just scattered. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and so I thought, well, I'll go into the military and just try to figure it out there. And so anyway, I joined the Air Force. I was sent to Korea, and that's my first exposure to the martial arts. This is back in 1958. So not many people even knew only thing I knew about was judo. And when I got to Osan, Korea, I thought, well, I'm going to take a judo class. So I started in my judo class, and I wound up breaking my shoulder in my second week of training. And so now I thought, oh, shoot. So anyway, I took a stroll out into the village right outside the base there, and I saw these Koreans out there jumping up in the air and doing these spinning kicks and all that. And I go, holy mackerel. I didn't think the human body could do something like that. And I was mesmerized by the agility that they had. And but they looked pretty mean. So I was afraid to walk over and ask them what it was. So I went back to the base and asked my judo instructor, and he explained to me what it was. At that, in those days, in 1960, it was called Tangsudo, Tangsodo. Now it's in 1963 they changed it to Taekwondo. But anyway, I said, since I can't train in judo, I'd sure love to take that. So he took me out and introduced me to the instructor out there, and in those days, not many Americans were taking it over there in Korea, and but anyway, they let me start training with them, and then once my shoulder healed, I continued my judo training. So I trained Monday through Saturday from 5 to 10 at night in Tangsudo, and then on Sundays from 12 to 4 I trained in judo. So when I left Korea, I had my black in Tangsudo and my brown belt in judo. And in those days, Doug, I was a real shy kid, and I never really excelled in any sports. I think because of my shyness, I was intimidated. And so this was really my first time to succeed in any athletic endeavor. And so when I got back to the States, I was stationed at March Air Force Base in California, Riverside, California. And you have to understand, all the way through school, I never once got in front of a class and gave a report or anything like that, because I was just so shy that I just thought, if I get up there, I'll be embarrassed. And so when the teacher would ask me to get up and do a report, I'd just shake my head no. Of course, what was happening, I was getting just as embarrassed sitting at my desk as I would have if I'd have gotten up there and given the report, but I just didn't have the courage to do it. And so when I was at March Air Force Base, I decided, I was working out, and everyone was watching me work out, and they were asking me what it was, and they said, "Well, do you start a club here on the base?" And so I thought, okay. So anyway, I decided to give a demonstration, and so I sent out pamphlets to everybody that I was going to give a demonstration on the base, and I thought, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to get up there and talk to these people, and so I wrote out about a half a page speech, and and I memorized it for 2 weeks, man. I could say it forwards, backwards, inside out, whatever. And Doug, this was in 1961. And I can still remember it vividly to this day. I remember walking into the gym, and there's like 500 people there.
Goodness.
And there's a microphone laying on the floor. So I walked over and I picked up the microphone, and I said, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chuck Norris, and I'd like to welcome you here tonight." That's the last thing I remember. And the next thing I remember is I'm walking out to the middle of the gym, and I'm thinking, well, did I finish my speech, or did I just lay the microphone down? And I couldn't remember. And to this day, I still don't know, to be truthful. But the thing is, what it did for me, Doug, is it helped me crack that egg of insecurity that I'd carried around for 21 years of my life. And then from that point on, I kept forcing myself to keep doing it until eventually the egg cracked wide open. And so that was really the beginning of me developing some self-esteem and being able to focus my energies in the right direction in life. And through that, I became a competitor and wound up winning the world title in 1968 and held it till 1974, where I retired undefeated. And then that's when I started pursuing a film career.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to join us for part 2 of Best Business Radio's interview with Mr. Chuck Norris.